Hi BookTube, my name is Sarah and welcome to The Bookish Knitter. Today I'm coming to you with my second smaller TBR for the month of March. So if you saw my video last Thursday, you saw my epically, ridiculously crazy March Mystery Madness TBR. But there is another great readathon that is happening this month, and that is Middle Grade March. And it is hosted by Krista over at Books and Jams, Katie from Life Between Words, and Amanda at The Curly Reader. So I will leave link to all of their announcement videos in the description box below. Please do go and check them out. I'm sure you are probably, if you're subscribed to me, chances are you're probably subscribed to one of them. But I unofficially not really participated last year, or I wanted to. I think I was just reading a few Babysitters Club books or something, but I really do love this. And last year, later in the year, I ended up reading another more recent middle grade book called The Adventures of Coyote Sunrise. Is that what it was called? I'll pop a picture of it up here. Guys, it was one of my 5-star reads of the year. I thought it was fantastic. So I wanted to participate in March Mystery Madness, or Middle Grade March for sure this month. I'm also hosting March Mystery Madness. I'm sorry. If I get confused, I apologize. So I really wanted to participate in Middle Grade March in March as well. So I watched Krista's video and I got the prompts, and there are 5 prompts plus a bonus group read book. The group read book I have on hold with my library. If it comes in time and I have time, I will get to it. If not, these other 5 books are going to be my priority. Because I have a huge TBR for the month of March, but I am prioritizing my middle grade books along with the books that fit my prompts for March Mystery Madness. So that's kind of my goal. Originally, what I wanted to do was, because I was co-hosting March Mystery Madness, was try and pick middle grade books that were mysteries as well, so I could kind of cross over both readathons. But then I started looking more and more at these middle grade books, and I'm like, oh my god, that looks so cute. Oh my gosh, that looks so cute. Oh my gosh, I want to read that one. And all of a sudden, I ended up with these books. And guys, I actually went out and physically bought all of them. All of them. I physically bought them. Because they're just so pretty. I wanted them on my shelves. My other justification is that I have a niece who's 11 years old who might really enjoy some of these. So I figure when I'm done with them, I can pass them on to her. That's my thought process on this, okay? So it's not just me wanting all the pretty books, although that is part of it too. So there is a 5th book here that I do not have yet. It has not arrived yet, but I will pop a picture of it up here when I talk about it and share with you that book. So I'm going to go through these as the prompts talk about. So the first prompt is a book with a silhouette on the cover, and there are a lot of them, but this one looked really cute. It is a National Book Award winner, a Newbery Honor book as well, and I've seen this one before. This is not the first time me seeing it, and this is called Inside Out and Back Again, and this is by Tahana Lai, I believe. But yeah, this one looks adorable. Now, this I didn't realize is actually told in verse. So this is going to be a crazy quick read, and I'm sure it's going to be really good. So I'm going to read the backs of these so that you guys can kind of get a better understanding. So hold the book cover up. For all the 10 years of her life, Ha has only known Saigon, the thrills of its markets, the joys of its traditions, the warmth of her friends close by, and the beauty of her very own papaya tree. But now the Vietnam War has reached her home. Ha and her family are forced to flee as Saigon falls, and they board a ship headed towards hope. This is the moving story of one girl's year of change, dreams, grief, and healing as she journeys from one country to another, one life to the next. I mean, come on. I found this one by accident because of another prompt where you need to read a book that was from the decade you were born in. So I was Google searching middle grade March, middle grade books from the 1970s. And I found a list of books, middle grade books set in the 1970s. So this one jumped out at me and I'm like, I'd seen that one before. It looked super familiar and I really wanted to read it as soon as I saw what it was about. But again, I didn't realize when I bought it that it was in verse, but I am totally cool with that. I think it's going to be an absolute delight and it just looks so, so pretty. The next prompt was family focus. So a book that is focusing on family. This one yeah, this one kind of fit for 2 of the prompts, but I decided to go with family on this one. And guys, you're going to kind of see, I didn't realize it till I got all these books in the mail, that I went, oh, clearly I have, my eye is drawn towards a certain type of cover. And a certain type of color palette, perhaps, like those cooler tones. So the next book that I picked for family focused is The Sea in Winter by Christine Day. Look at that cover, you guys. Is that not the most delightful thing? Oh, this one is so cute. So I'll read the back of this one for you guys too. From the author of I Can Make This Promise comes a tender story about a native girl struggling to find her joy again and the family who will protect her no matter what happens. Maisie Cannon is having a hard time. It's been months since her knee injury, and her recovery process has been painfully slow. As a serious ballet student, Maisie is eager to rebuild her strength and get back to the dance studio. But the injury isn't her only problem. Maisie has been irritable towards her parents and her little brother lately, and can't always explain why. And as Maisie and her family set out on a midwinter road trip, her secrets and anxieties and dark moods are starting to hurt as much as the aches and pains in her knee. So it sounds like she's dealing with some mental health issues. This sounds so amazing, you guys. So amazing. This could have also worked for the next prompt, which is travel, because they are going on a road trip. But yeah, I am so excited about this one. Like, this sounds so good. I want to pick it up right now, but I'm going to make myself wait until March to start any of these books. So yeah, I mean, I'm so excited about middle grade books. I think this is fantastic, and this is part of the reason why I wanted to participate in March, in middle grade March, so I can get more of these recommendations and hear about more of these books, because I just feel like I am missing out on an entire other area of reading with these books, and I cannot wait. You know, it's going to be so good. So the next one, as I said, the prompt is travel/adventure, and this is kind of an unknown travel-y adventure book, I guess. And that is Alone by Megan E. Freeman. Look at that cover. Oh, the cover drew me in on this one. I'm like, I must know what it's about. So this one is also told in verse. It's a bit thicker because it's a hardcover, but it's also told in verse, much like the first one I just showed you guys. So let me read the inside of this one. I'll try and do this so you guys can see the pretty cover. Maybe like this. A harmless scheme to host a secret sleepover turns into I don't know if you guys can hear me while I do that. So let's do this. Sorry, you're not going to see the cover. A harmless scheme to host a secret sleepover turns into a nightmarish adventure when 12-year-old Maddie awakens to discover she's completely alone, left behind in a town that has been mysteriously evacuated and abandoned. With only a Rottweiler named George for companionship, all the books she can read, and whatever food and resources she can forage, she must figure out how to navigate this new reality. Months pass, and she grapples with adolescence and escapes natural disasters, looters, and wild animals. But as Maddie wrestles with loneliness and the meaning of her life in the face of endless solitude, her will to survive surpasses even the most frightening experiences. And ultimately, she determines that the thesis from her stepbrother's Left Behind book report is correct. Being alone is the greatest challenge of all. Does that not sound amazing? Like, oh my gosh, that sounds so good. Oh, I can't wait to read that. And this is gorgeous. This one, I think my niece would love this one. I'm debating because her birthday's soon. I might buy her own copy for her birthday because I don't want to give this one up. It's just too pretty. So we'll see what happens after I read it. But yeah, it looks, again, told in verse. And also it looks like, I was just paging through here, it looks like there's some written essays, like maybe her stepbrother's thesis that it talks about briefly. So yeah, this one should be really good, but of course stay tuned for my updates on that one. And the second last book for the prompt of a fairy tale retelling. So I had a hard time with this one. Like, there's a lot of great books that are like fairy tale-esque, but they're very fantasy. Fantasy isn't generally my jam, but I found this one and it looks so adorable, and it's called Breadcrumbs by Anne Ursu. So there's the cover. Clearly, guys, I had a color palette thing kind of going on here, right? Dark, winter, cold. But yeah, this one is: once upon a time, Hazel and Jack were best friends, but that was before he stopped talking to her and disappeared into a forest with a mysterious woman made of ice. Now it's up to Hazel to go after him. Inspired by Hans Christian Andersen's The Snow Queen, Breadcrumbs is a stunning original fairy tale of modern-day America, a dazzling ode to the power of fantasy, and a heartbreaking meditation on how growing up is as much a choice as it is something that happens to us. So, kind of a retelling of The Snow Queen, which I read a few years ago. But that was also what inspired the movie Frozen, was the Snow Queen, I believe. But the fact that it kind of delves a bit into fantasy, but it's mostly like contemporary, I think. So this one I am really looking forward to as well. I mean, all of these just sound so, so good. So the last book that I have, again, I don't have the physical copy yet, it's coming, is a book that was published in the decade that you were born. So I was born in the late 1970s. Truly showing my age at this point. 79, in case anyone's curious. So I remembered this author because I read another one of his books when I was a young girl, and it was one of my favorites growing up, and I wanted to see when that was published because I thought, oh, maybe I can reread that book. But alas, The Island of the Blue Dolphins by Scott Odell was actually published in 1960. So I'm reading another one of his books that sounds really good, and this one's called Sing Down the Moon, again by Scott Odell. And it's about a young native woman and how these Spanish settlers come, I guess, to where it is that she lives, and they are being forced from their homes. That's really all I know about it. The description on Goodreads is not very much, but it's like her family and what happens to them on this journey. And again, it was written in the 1970s, so I'm not too sure exactly how well it stood the test of time. Let's be real. But I am very, very interested in it. I really loved Island of the Blue Dolphins. Again, it was one book that to this day stands out at me as being a favorite from my childhood. And I wanted to read something else by this author. So I'm glad I found this one and found a new copy of it. So I'm waiting for that to be delivered to me, but I will have it before March Mystery or Middle Grade March starts. So yeah, so those are my 5 books for this readathon. Super excited. Like I said, check out the hosts below and definitely join us. As Krista says in her video, even if you just read one middle grade book in March, you are participating. So I highly encourage you to do so. And until my next video, everybody, take care and happy reading. Thank you all so much for watching. Bye, guys.